republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Your fire exits are to the left here, to the right, and if we have an incident, you'll be notified from the podium, and please lead in a nice, orderly manner. And with that said, open the meeting to the public. Comments from the public at this time. And you can be first, young lady.
Well, thank you. If you call you ladies, even better. I want to congratulate the two people who were re-elected to the board. Very nice. Just a few things to report on. Sales tax is doing very, very well. We're ahead of projection again, which means that the county's doing okay, and villages and towns are doing okay, so you're ahead of what's projected, so people are still spending. Our jail, our $24 million project, is 6 months ahead of schedule. We have a couple pods that will be open by the end of April, and one is for federal prisoners, so that will bring in income, so we're looking for that. Airport, the terminal, $10 million. We're going out to bid in April. We plan to start construction in the summer, and it'll take probably 1.5 years. And I don't know if you heard, but you know the Airbus Corporation, where they're looking for 3 sites in every state. Well, we're one of the sites in here in the state, so of course it's a long road, but you never know. Cumberland Head Road, the connector road, should be completed by the end of 2006. The bids went out, and that should be starting. People have really taken advantage, and increasingly so, on the payment of taxes by installment, whether it's school taxes or county and town taxes. The numbers are growing, and people really like that. And we're only one of 3 counties in the state doing that, so we're leaders in that. Thought I'd tell you about some of the recent appointments that I've made to some of the boards. I appointed Krista Grempry to the Clinton Essex Franklin Library Board. Ken LaPlante is reappointed Board of Health. He served there for a long time. Larry Brooks from Moores and Soil and Water Conservation District. Elaine Manigault is our representative on Council for the Aging. Our Nursing Home Advisory Council, Pastor Al Johnson, the Methodist pastor from Moores, is on that board. Kevin Manor from Rouses is on the Youth Bureau, doing a good job. Also, Jim King is retiring soon, but we don't have a replacement right away, so he will continue as an interim. He'll be officially retired, but he will work for us on a per diem basis while we look for someone. There have been applicants, and they have to take an exam, and then we look at the top 3.
Hate to see him go.
You're right, you're right. But he'll always be there, I think. You won't be able to keep Jim too far away. Our road work and the county road work, if you remember, we took our tobacco money to help with our roads and double up on the number of miles every year. Of the 2 towns I represent, the town of Moores has been completed. Much was needed there, and that is done. In the town of Champlain is being completed this summer. The Meridian Road, Dudley Road, Mason Road, and Ridge Road. So about $500,000 will be spent in Champlain, and that will complete the county project. So that's all I have for this evening. Do you have any questions of me, or anything you want me to do for you? Or?
I need another minute.
I wish I could just go looking for those, yes.
Let's finish that project down there.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, that's all I'm at it. Okay.
If people are interested in paying their taxes in installments, who do they contact?
Well, when you get your bill, the coupons are right there.
Oh, they are right there with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the right part of the bill.
Is there an extra charge for that?
It's a little bit of a charge.
Okay.
It's like 1% or something.
Yeah, it covers the county expense for administering that program.
Well, we do it in the Stock Investment Club, and it just works out better.
Yeah.
Space it out.
Right, the coupons are right there with the bill.
Thank you, Celine. It's always nice to hear from the county. Anybody else want to address the board at this time? I'll close this section at this time, and you'll have a chance at the end of the meeting. You'll have copies of minutes of the March 7th and March 16th meeting. Is there any additions or deletions?
have one thing I think we need to have Phil check. Carol, it's on the second page from the back. It's in the middle of that long paragraph, maybe about 2/3 of the way down, kind of on the right side. The sentence begins with, once they have a resolve as to the concept. I just want to make sure that that's not confusing to people with a board resolution. So I think that maybe we should have Phil double check what was said, just so that it's clear. Because I don't think he meant that there would need to be a resolution, but I don't want there to be any confusion about that. Okay?
Is there any other changes? Don, entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written for both meetings.
Second.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Is there any other discussion? There is no discussion. All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Bills, you all have copies of the bills.
We have one addition this evening. It's to New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, the amount of $2,253. This is a administrative fee for our revolving loan fund. That's on the water issue that we just took out, the $2.962 million.
And I'll make a motion to pay the bills tonight.
These action payable to manufacturer trade trust.
With the addition, yes, absolutely.
And second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Moore. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Correspondence? We don't have anything. Okay, report of mayor and the board of trustees. First thing on the agenda tonight is the official notice of the semi-annual meeting of the Municipal Electric Association. And I need a motion for resolution for delegate to start off with. And I believe that delegate will be me.
No, I can't vote, George, so so I'll make a motion to allow, are you gonna take Phil or?
No, I think Brian's going.
Okay, I'll make
Brian,
a motion.
anyway, any board member, anybody wants to go.
I'll make a motion for the mayor and Brian Pelkey to go to the meeting in Syracuse next month.
Second.
Which one?
You were there. I had the last one.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm going to make a motion for this resolution, that the standard resolution appointing me delegate. And I need a second.
Second.
Okay, that's a roll call vote. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And I'm going to make a motion for executive session to discuss electrical personnel. And yes,
I'll second that.
roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. And I believe that's it for me. Trustee Penfield.
First item that I have this evening is an authorization to travel for Tom Reed to the New York Rural Water Association 26th Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition 2005, which is to be held in Saratoga Springs. It looks like he'll be departing on Sunday, May 1st, and returning on Wednesday, May 4th. And the total cost, I believe, is $716. So I'll move that we approve Tommy Reed to go to that conference.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Moore. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Second item I have is the annual review of the Justice Court records. Tony Clark and I did the audit on March 8th, and I found, as I have in the past, that everything is in good order. She has all of the records up to date, and things seem to be very complete. And so, for the record, I'll read in that the records of Justice Herzog have been reviewed by Kelly Penfield and appear to be satisfactory. And I need to present this report to the clerk, so Carol, I'll have this for you after the meeting. The next thing on my agenda is an update on the sewer project. We also have this evening an amended change order for the work that's being done behind the village office. It's going to amend the change order that we approved on February 7th through Sheehan to come and do the work behind the village office and extending out for the work. So at this point, what I'd like to do is I would like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the amended change order for the sewer line work at the village office. And it's given by 2 unit costs, one for mobilization and demobilization for $1,000, and the 18-inch gravity sewer pipe at $180 per linear foot. So I'd like to move that we authorize the mayor to go ahead and sign that change order.
And I'll second that.
Motion by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Is there any discussion?
I know that we're still waiting for some paperwork, I believe, to come from Karen, is that correct, Deb?
Correct.
And as soon as that gets here, we should be set to go. I know they've actually already even started today.
They laid out the heating map, follow the ground for excavation. They expect to excavate starting Wednesday.
Now, Doug, once we're able to complete the rest of the work, are we going to need to do another amendment to the change order, or will this just supersede the one that we passed in February?
My thinking is what will happen is you'll sign one change order for the work behind the village office, and then once we get the easement tax bog, we'll sign a second change order for that. So they will supersede that which you've already signed.
But they shouldn't really exceed the sum total.
No, except if we incur an additional
Right.
mobilization fee, we'll have to set up twice. We'll pay an extra $1,000 for that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, vote by your side of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Doug, did you have another update on the sewer project?
Sure, just a few things to report. Acts 2 Construction has essentially completed their contract. They've completed the outfall. The only thing remaining on that contract is for their scuba team to come back and to straighten out the outfall portion in the lake. Sheehan Construction, they're close to being done with the influent building. They've made all of the force main connections, so we've got the new force mains going into the influent building. The work at the south end pump station has been completed, and right now they're focusing on the work in the influent building, finishing screens, decking, stairs, etc. And also they're working on a chlorine contact tank in the wastewater plant. And as we just noted, they're working on a change order behind the village offices. Any questions?
When do you expect that it will be done? She will be done up there.
Sheehan should be done by the end of this month. They might linger into early April, but the project is coming to a close. The last piece will be getting that outfall line straightened out.
That's good. Good news.
And Ken Planty has been on site for us doing inspections. Eric Schwenke's only here once or twice a week, just checking on Ken and coordinating any critical tie-ins involving Shazy hardware and such. Anything that could turn into a hornet's nest, we put a little extra pressure on that. But otherwise, Ken's just watching the excavation to make sure everything meets spec.
Thank you, Doug.
Let's see, what else? Oh, back to the Village of Rouses Point subdivision law. Mike Tatro and I had another meeting this afternoon on Renee. And I know that we've been asking you over the last few meetings to take a good look and to read this over very carefully. We went through it fairly thoroughly today, and there will be a few other changes that will come through. And Tom gave us a bit of advice, and we made some things very specific to the village itself. So, Mike, we'll be getting a new copy of this, is that correct? So we'll have another draft before Tom actually drafts the local law. So we'll have another chance. I don't know whether anyone has any input that we could add before Mike goes ahead with the changes. Anything else?
Anything with the board?
Me, no, it's okay with me.
And the last thing I have is I would just like to thank everyone who turned out for the election last Tuesday. I think it was wonderful to see such a large turnout of people who got out and voted. And it's very nice to see the interest in the community, and it makes me very proud to be part of the community. So thank you to everyone who came out to vote. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Penfield. Trustee Jefferson.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, just a couple things tonight. First of all, I'd like to authorize the clerk to publish a legal notice to go to bid for Montgomery Street electrical underground materials. So I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Penfield. Any discussion?
Is that the whole street or just part of it, or?
The whole street.
It's the whole ball of wax.
And it's ordering everything, or pretty much everything that we need.
Everything with the street lighting.
Okay.
We put in for the street light basin, but I guess we're still waiting. We have a meeting tomorrow on the street light design.
So 10:30 to 1, right.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, vote by the consent of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Okay, and the second is I'd like to make a motion for authorization for the court clerk to travel to attend a teleconference in Plattsburgh, New York. It's on 3/31, it's at 5:30, and the cost will be $16 to bail mileage for Tony Quinn.
Why are we paying mileage?
Yes, I in the car. How do you think about that?
You got a car.
Yeah, I'll have to resend that. I didn't think I talked with Phil about that the other day, and, yeah, I'll have to resend that. Yeah, we just have to send her in our car. Oh, Jeez, I didn't even think about that. Okay, yeah, then I guess I'll have to,
331, it's not being
I was just
used.
gonna say, as long as it's available.
It's not being used.
well, I guess I'll rescind that motion.
Still
And
your
we'll just tell her-
$15 for the registration. So you still have to make a motion.
Yeah, the registration's
You just
15,
amended.
so I'll amend my motion to allow Tony Quinn to go to the conference, and we'll pay a registration fee of $15, and we'll let her take the village car.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Moore. Any other discussion? There being no other discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
And the other thing we need to talk about tonight is the electrical switch box, which is across from the village office on the corner of Liberty Street and Lake Street. The owner of the property is not happy that, I looked at it today, it's gotten quite a bit higher, and I don't know what we can do.
Brian, you want to take the floor on that?
Yeah, well, last fall, we had that switch burnout, it failed on us, so we replaced it with a new style switch, and the new styles, they're a little bit higher, they're the same size, square, but it seems to be higher than the old one. We put the switch in place last week. We didn't hook it up yet, just to get his feelings on it, because I figured he would have a comment for the village. But I talked to him, and he was wondering if the village would do something around that, it has to stay there. Because there was a design made in 1992 when we put the underground in for the downtown, and it should have been put in a different location. For some reason, it got put there, or I was just, back when Dave Shadot was our electrical engineer, and he figured that was the best place to put it. So, I talked to the owner, and he was wondering if we could do something around the box for him to make it look a little more decorative.
What's the nice, like, hedges or something like that?
Some kind of a shrub.
But not where it opens, so that's it.
No, the doors faced Liberty Street, so it's mostly like coming from the south or the front of the box itself.
East and south side. Box it in some shrub.
He's willing to plant the bushes if we would purchase them.
I think he would like to have the village do the digging.
Yeah, he doesn't want to dig around the
Around
pond.
the electrical lines.
You know, we can
I do too.
We can
I think we
assist
should
them
do
if,
digging.
if the village board feels like, you know, if they wanna do something for them with shrubs or however. This box is pretty gaudy, it's almost 5 foot tall, you know.
That's awesome.
I know, it's awful, and I kind of feel bad for them. That they can do something.
The roots of the shrubs don't bother anything?
No.
They won't go down far enough at all.
If you plant like an evergreen, they stay above, you know, they don't go very deep into the ground. So I think that's what he's looking for, like some kind of a cedar or shrubs or something decorative.
You got it in beautification or something.
Well, I think it would help with beautification of the main street, you know, because when you come by the village office, you see that big green box now. It would be nice if you put something around this to make him happy and beautify the village.
It's more popular to tell, whatever he wants to do, and just run it by the board. What's it gonna cost us, $75, $200?
Probably. What's it called? We charge it to the electrical anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
They're all charging the beautification.
Oh,
I know.
they don't have the money in the budget, they got the money.
Well, whatever he wants.
Is this gonna happen again, Brian? I mean, or do we have other switches like
Well-
that that will be installed? I know there are a couple of others that are kind of on the corners. There's one on the corner of Liberty and Maple, right?
Right, now, as we're installing the switches, we have input in where they go.
Right.
So with our current engineer, Kurt Wilson, we kind of, you know, we go down through and we make a plan of where, you know, the best location for these switches so we won't run into this problem again.
Right.
You know, that's like a lot of the transformer boxes, we try to put them on the property lines rather in front of somebody's window or their house or next to their driveway. So we're trying to make it more,
Even so, they're much smaller.
yes, they are. And that's about the only location that I can think of in the village that's really, it's nice.
They're all getting bigger than taller.
Is that?
Yes, the switches are taller.
Okay. So that's really, because the box that was there before was not as
No,
large.
it was a low profile, like,
Right.
my body, trustee Moore's house.
Okay.
But see, that's more on the property line, it's not so bad, where it's not in front of his house like this, you know, this guy.
The house was vacant for
Yeah.
15 years probably. St.
Yeah, and
John's.
the grass was a foot tall and it wasn't maintained, but now, you know, the guy's trying to really clean up his lot and did a nice job cleaning his house up, and you know, I understand how he feels.
I wouldn't want one on my property. Might get one.
See what he wants.
I need a motion.
Okay. I made the motion to, excuse me, sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to allow Brian to go and talk to the property owner, ask him what he'd like, and, I don't know, put a cap on it if you want, $200 or whatever. I think
Ain't gonna do it.
3, 4 seaters?
No, ain't gonna do it. Maybe he doesn't want cedars.
Oh, whatever. I'll let him put a limit on it if you don't want to.
Maybe we should
See what he wants.
investigate what he
and come back.
wants and then come
See
back.
what he wants
and-
and come back.
I mean, there's still snow on the ground, so we're still,
Did you have a chance to talk to him?
okay.
Yeah, he said, you know, the only thing he said is to put up some decent shrubbery, so it looked decent. And he was willing to plant them, but he was afraid to do the digging. And I agreed with him, I said, you're absolutely right. But I can't make that decision, I would bring it before the board.
Right, come back to us then, Brian, let us know.
Even if we could get an approximate cost, that would be good.
Find out what he wants, and then
We wouldn't be planting them until April anyway, so we can bring it back to the next meeting. We can have a,
Until the frost gets out.
just
Yeah.
tell him that the board is,
they're willing to help him out.
Okay, and I just have one other thing. I'd like to welcome Judge John LaBounty as our new village justice. Judge LaBounty is a very respected member of the judicial system in the North Country. John's well-known by the federal, state, and local law enforcement community. He has a reputation of being tough, but a fair and compassionate judge. We look forward to working with Judge LaBounty to eliminate the backlog of cases that is on the village docket at this time. And I'd like to thank the voters for the support they have shown Kelly and myself, and we will continue to make Rouses Point a quality community. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Jefferson. Trustee Moore, I got two things.
I'd like to make a motion for Mark Bradley to attend the New York Rural Water Technical Training Conference May 1st and May 4th, a total price of $716.
I'll second that.
Motion made by trustee Moore, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
Okay, one other thing, make an announcement. The Village of Rouses Point, the town of Champlain, will be having a special meeting on Wednesday, April 6, 2005, at 5:30 p.m. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the potential water development on Route 11. The meeting is open to the public and will be held at the town of Champlain office, 729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. That's all I got.
Well, thank you, trustee Moore. Okay, deputy clerk.
I presented the tentative budget for 2005 and 2006 to the board this evening. And I'd like to get permission to publish the legal notice for the public hearing on the tentative budget on April 4th. If I can get that from the board.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, need a second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Jefferson, seconded by trustee Moore. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
And that's at 6:30, right, Carol?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Is that it, Carol?
That's it.
Arson?
We have a budget modification resolution. This resolution, what it's doing is taking money from this year's budget, putting it in the tentative budget from this year. So what we're doing here is, under the general fund, we're decreasing our appropriation $71,520, decreasing our appropriated fund balance $71,520 in the general fund. The water fund, we're decreasing account 960, appropriations 22,305, decreasing account 599, appropriated fund balance to 22,305. The library fund, decreasing account 960, appropriations for $700, and account 599, appropriated fund balance for $700. Someone to entertain a motion to move that to the floor.
I'll move the resolution be voted on.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
That's all I have.
Brian?
Tonight, I want to talk about the ongoing projects. We have one more round of meter changing in our meter program, so we'll be completely switched over to the solid state meters next week. The last 400 meters will be done. We've been working on Maple Street, the line crew, the electric department. We've been changing over a lot of houses. The other night we had a problem with one of the pieces of switch gear, and we were out for almost 4 hours trying to figure out what the problem was. I think we got a good handle on that now, so we're going to be continuing doing the changeovers on Maple Street. We've been seeing a lot of the wires coming down that goes to the houses. Once we're all in the underground, and the main primaries can come down and we can take the poles out. We're working in our substation, still in our control house. So everybody's been pretty busy with the line through the weather's been excellent. The street department, I have them working on installing the new valve at the old water tank, so we can isolate the old water tank completely. They dug today, they installed all the hardware that goes around the pipe. Now we have the technician coming in that's going to show them how to put the new Insta valve in, and they're scheduling that appointment for later on this week or at the beginning of next week. That's what the digging is up at the old water tank.
What about the wire that's coming off the houses now? Like I saw a truck through the village today, is it,
Yeah, garbage.
that's not, I mean, they must recycle it or reuse it somewhere.
Whoever wants it, we throw it in our metal hopper and we don't use it.
It's metal and it's,
Well, it's aluminum with a steel strand in it,
yeah,
And a lot of the scrap yards or whoever won't take it unless you physically take that all apart. And we can't pay people to sit there and take that wire apart. It's not feasible for us.
Just wondered if it
Yeah,
was
it's
worth anything.
it's garbage. By the time we handle it, you couldn't pay a person to handle it for what you're gonna get for it.
Yeah.
And rather than paying Cooper to take it away as garbage,
Yeah, Norman, that was, I saw,
Yeah.
I figured that was.
Yeah.
One line, I said, looks like
You'll take it.
Norm Sorrell, yeah, you got a spot for it.
he has a lot of time on his hands to play with that old wire. We don't.
When do you figure Maple Street will be done? Tying the houses and everything, roughly?
I'm hoping by the middle of April, Clinton and Maple will completely be tied over. And, you know, we're still shooting for the 1st of June to have all the poles out. We still have the streetlights put up, so we're waiting for the ground to thaw out, so we can dig around the base and put the bolts in. But we're gonna keep plugging away at it every day. We've come a long ways.
You guys doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with the Lenses. They've really worked hard, they've come a long ways.
How did it go with Kurt last week?
Very good, until Saturday night when that switch failed.
That's not his fault.
No, but
The El Chango came out and said, the power's off. So the power's off, it looked like the whole east side of Maple.
yeah, everything from Academy Street south was pretty much off. But these are a new style switch, and it's electronics in it, and you know, they're looking. We got a hold of our technician that we use in our substation, John Tucker, from Technical Assistance, and he pretty much walked us through and had us try different things, and we worked the bugs out of it finally. And we do need to probably send one of the boards out to get it checked on that switch. It's like electronics on anything else. I mean, you do get one to
Never know.
fail once in a while.
Get Kurt to buy you lunch?
No, he didn't that day. Actually, we worked through lunch.
Thank you.
Next time.
Yep.
That's about it. I'm gonna start having the street crews start on the spring cleanups wherever they can do the lawn repair that we tore up with the plow, and they started sweeping some of the main streets, like around the businesses, just the spruce stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's time. The storm drains, Nelson went around, opened a lot of storm drains last week. The water's flowing good. We don't see any flooding that's gonna happen, so it's flying slow.
Thank you, Brian. Just a couple of things. First of all, thank the boys for Saturday night. I mean, they really did a good job. Very pleased that they done. And I have one other for the board. I received a call from the county last week about our water tank. And apparently the county has a tank that they have to take down. The question was, are we willing to work with them, and they with us, in a joint contract, if they have to end up taking these tanks down. And I only see things positive here. But I said I can't make that decision, so the decision wants to do.
Where is it?
The air base, that big tank. You know, the administrator called me and he says, "What is it?" I said, well, it was the people interested in it. And he said, well, he said, we've got one to take down, so we said, maybe we can end up, you know, best for everybody.
When they plan on taking theirs down? We got a date?
No plans. You know, we can sit down and talk with them.
I don't think it hurts to investigate.
Oh, I don't either. I didn't want to say that I was
Got
going
it,
to
Bill.
Yeah.
The price of steel's up, so at least, I mean, hopefully it won't cost us that much. If we can just say, hey, look, we'll take it.
Yeah, it would be nice, and I'm sure that that's what the county would like. Okay, I will contact them and say that we are on a positive note. Okay. What's my next one? Lost my spot here. Dougie?
Just a couple of quick things. I've been working a little with Melissa on some of her community development work, and I'm in the middle of a sewer rate analysis. And as we said earlier, the construction projects are winding down, so they'll be substantially complete either by the end of this month or in early April. Then we'll have the enduring punch list work to link it through. And that's about it.
What are you gonna do this summer? It's gonna be so quiet.
Oh,
Don't worry, Ryan's got a lot of projects this year.
Thanks, Doug. Mike?
Other than the meeting I had this afternoon with Kelly and Mr. Renee concerning the subdivision, you'll be getting a new revamped draft to look at. I would ask that you all read it carefully. Other than that, I have nothing.
Thank you, Mike. And we saved the best of last.
Thank you, George. It's just to start off, you have my written report. I did include a copy of the proposal we received from architect Carl Stearns on the D&H building, and also a copy of the letter that, if the board approves, we'll attach to that and send down to the New York State Council on the Arts. Are there any questions I can answer for you on that?
Does it matter that he's referred in his proposal to the Historical Society being responsible for the money?
I spoke to him about that. I don't know what happened between when he did the proposal for services and sent it to us at the village, and then the Historical Society got in there. I don't know if maybe it was a standard. The last time he used this word processing document, it was with the Historical Society. He knows it's the village, and I explained to him that, the reports would come to the village and everything. So I think I noticed that too when I reviewed it. So I think he's all set with
I
that.
just didn't know whether they knew they were responsible for part of the payment.
We'll
make sure
draw a
you know
line
that.
through that right in Village of Rouses Point, initial it before we send it back. So I wouldn't want to drop that on the Historical Society.
Any questions for Melissa? Mike, maybe that's gotta be the quickest.
Well, I'm not yet. I have just one more thing. So is the board okay with going ahead and sending Mr. Stearns the voucher for the $600 so that we can get this? There's no line on the proposal for our signature. I guess we can just accept it and authorize him to begin the work.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal from Crawford and Stearns.
I'll second that. Motion by trustee Penfield, seconded by trustee Jefferson. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call vote. Trustee Penfield.
Aye.
Trustee Jefferson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
Okay, thank you. And anything else on the report that, I hope that the calendar was helpful to you. I wanted to give you the dates well ahead of time and give you a sense of where we're heading with some of these projects that we'll be meeting on in the next couple of months.
That's good.
And actually, the last item I had, I'm very glad that Selena's here because she may be able to assist us. We received the draft of Celebration Champlain from Lakes to Lock, and I know you're on the mailing list and have been very involved with this. I'm attending a chart meeting tomorrow. Chart is the Clinton County Action Group for the Lakes to Locks Byway. And as I was reading through the Celebration Champlain plan, one thing in particular jumped out at me as not being there, and I wanted to get a sense of the board's thoughts before I go ahead and bring this up and make sure it's something that you feel is significant and should be included. I'll hand this out to you. Sorry, I just had a chance to read this all this weekend, but I highlighted the pieces that deal directly with Rouses Point.
You want me to read that now?
You don't have to
Just
read
do
it
the
now.
highlights.
It's all highlighted, and you can toss it after we're done. Celebration Champlain, it's been a little tricky for me to understand because when we first heard about this, it was actually at the meeting where Selena attended and spoke to us about the Quadricentenary Commission, and at the same time we were hearing about Celebration Champlain. My understanding is that Celebration Champlain is Lakes to Locks action plan to get ready for the commemoration of Samuel de Champlain's quadricentennial exploration of the lake. And so it's a very, very broad, very, very ambitious document, to say the least. Certainly, its main thrust, which is to build the regional appeal of the area for tourists, will only assist us in our efforts here in Rouses Point. And I think we really have to congratulate them on the ambitious nature of the document. The parts that deal directly with us are in the first two sheets I highlighted for you. This would be to meet one of the goals of Celebration Champlain, to support initiatives for sustaining public places. And as you can see, that includes downtown and waterfront revitalization and supporting and establishing museums and public sites. George arranged a meeting with Janet Kennedy from Lakes to Locks and 3 members of the steering committee last spring. And at that point, we gave her the Rouses Point projects for inclusion in this plan. And they're on the next page. The Rouses Point Railway Station Museum and the waterfront and downtown revitalization projects. So they're included in the plan. That I think is certainly good for us, and it gives regional exposure to what we're trying to do. The concern I had as I read through one of the major projects that they're calling kind of one of the keystones for the whole Celebration Champlain was something that was missing in this Champlain-Richelieu Waterway Initiative. It's on the 3rd page of your packet. Just, I highlighted the name because what this is trying to develop the entire waterway, the Chambly Canal, the Richelieu River, Lake Champlain, right down to Lake George, to encourage boaters and boat tourism and so on. And the next page kind of examines this issue and makes the statement that the waterway has enormous potential for growth as a tourist destination. I think that fits right in with what we think and what we see. Then it goes on to say, however, there are limitations, there are concerns about how much it can be developed with the current situation. Are the communities viable to support more boaters? Are the marinas viable? So it sounds to me like they're going to commission a study, a Lakes to Locks Passage waterway capacity study, to examine some of these issues that might slow down development or prevent development of the waterway. And it lists all of the, well, I shouldn't say list them all, there may be more I don't know about, but it lists several different things they're going to look at. What jumped out at me as I looked at it was there was no mention of the border crossing issue for boaters, which is something that's been brought to our attention loud and clear by the marina owners and by local boaters. And this is what I wanted to refer to the board. With your approval, I would suggest to Lakes to Locks that when they do this study that they include another bullet, something like examine the current border crossing experience for boaters and explore possibilities to improve it. Leave it very general, but at least flag this as something that we see is very important to Rouses Point, and really also to the region, because if it's difficult enough getting across, some people may choose not to come. So that's what I wanted to get your sense on before I went down and made the suggestion.
I don't personally have any objection to it, but I will tell you, I met with the port director last week, and that was one of the issues we talked about, and it's a very low priority in the United States government. He says, why don't you, the village, build it for us? I says, yeah, where are we going to get the money?
Yeah.
That's what they want to do, is build like a spot where all the boats can come in and get inspected, instead of having them go to the marinas. Because what happens, when they go into the marina, they charge them $10. Then they have to pay $6 if they need an I-94, and a boat, I-68 costs them money, and so.
Right. And from the marina owner's point of view, it ties up their marinas for their customers who just want to get in and out of their boat slips. So I don't think they see it as a huge benefit either. That's why I feel comfortable we've met with them and spoken with them in terms of bringing this
I
up.
don't think it's going to hurt.
Anything you're like that?
No, but I think it's a very good point, because it is a problem. I've heard from marina owners also.
Okay, great. Well, then I will advance that at the chart meeting tomorrow. And that's all I have. Thank you.
But again, I would like to say that Celebration Champlain is not connected with the Quad Commission, even though it's mentioned many times in the strategic plan. The Quad Commission, of course, is Hudson, Fulton, Champlain, Quadricentennial. And We have an executive director, and in fact, we have a meeting this week in Glens Falls. We meet monthly and trying to set up a framework for celebration in 2009 from this border all the way down to Manhattan. So, it's big.
Big stretch.
It is a big stretch, and we're loaded with downstaters, so you have to fight for your upstate portion.
I see an illustrious clerk that mentioned in that report. We got his finger stuck in it again. Open the meeting to the public at this time. Anyone wish to address us at this time, then we are a motion for recess.
Have it.
Motion by trustee Tucker,
Second.
seconded by trustee Penfield. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in recess for 5 minutes.